Okay, so we're going to have a look at the scenarios I'm reporting now. Now, here are the mandatory reporter trees. Now, when you go onto the website, mandatory reporter guide, you can look up these trees to see whether it's really worth you reporting. So if we have a look at the first one, the child's coming in dirty. It's coming in dirty every day, and he's been coming in dirty every day for about a month now. So is that something you think you would report?
No.
It's not something that you would report immediately if the child came in, but after a little while, if it's been going on for some time, you probably would report it. So let's just have a look at the mandatory reporter tree here. If we go down, neglect, physical shelter and environment, neglect food, neglect hygiene clothing. So non-medical starts here. Is there a pattern of the young child person being extremely dirty, unhygienic, or especially inappropriately clothed? Yes. So is the child, a young person, so dirty or inappropriately clothed that he or she need medical care?
No.
So if the answer is no, has the parent or carer accepted resources or otherwise demonstrated an ability to remedy the situation? So have they made an effort to dress their child appropriately? Or are they always coming in dirty?
It says here that lately they are always coming in dirty.
Yes, that's right. So they're always coming in dirty. So that is something then that you would report. And you would definitely keep making jottings on that. The child comes in saying his brother is hurting him. So what do you think about this one?
Something that you report right away.
No, so if we go up here and have a look at the physical, so are you aware of reasonably suspicious or a current injury? Well, yes you are, because he's told you that they've been hurting you. Does the child or young person or another person say that the injury was caused by a parent or carer or another adult household member in the family? So that's what you need to determine. Are they a big person? Is it a younger person? Is it an adult brother or even a teen brother? If the answer is yes, is the injury significant? So can you see something significant like bruising, welts? If the answer is yes, that's an immediate report to CS. If the answer is no, well then you go through you go through all these different patterns. So these are really good tools to help you identify whether the thing is immediate or whether you just need to report it to community services, but it may not be so immediate. A child's coming in really hungry. Yes, no?
No, if it's just one instance.
So, probably not in one instance. If it's only in one instance, then it's definitely not something that you would report. But if they're coming in and they're gorging themselves and you can see that they're, you can sort of start to see it in their face, like in their pallor, they might be pale, they may even start to look sick, and that's a pretty good indication that they've got an inadequate or poor diet, and that's something that might need to be reported. A child is coming in screaming, going home screaming, not wanting to go home. And when the adult is coming to pick them up, you can smell alcohol on their breath.
Yes.
So it's a little bit of a lot of legal matters come into this one. So legally, you are not allowed to restrain the child. The parents are legally allowed to take their children home, regardless of whether you can smell alcohol on them or not. You would have a duty of care to probably ring the police to let them know that you think this parent has had alcohol and they are intending to drive the car. That's if they are getting into a vehicle. Your duty of care would also allow you, maybe you would say something to the parent, try and convince them to walk home or take other methods of getting home, especially with their children. Really hard one, but if you were to ring the police then and the police did catch up with them, then they would probably make the report on your behalf, or on their own behalf more so. And if they didn't, well, it's definitely something that you would jot down and make a report on. Okay, so now let's have a look at reporting. So we're going to go on and have a look at the online report. And let's just make sure this is still recording. Okay, so there's a few things that the department will ask you when you first phone to make a report. So if you've got something that you immediately need to report, what do you think, what method do you think you might use?
Phone.
That's right. If you've got a immediate threat, or a child's immediately, you think they're in that immediate risk of harm, it's really important that you phone the community services straight away. Okay, so they're going to ask you a number of things. They're going to ask you the name, the date of birth of the child, the gender of the birth, where they live and their address, their parents, who are their parents, where do they live, where does the child go to school, or where is the child at childcare at. These are all questions that they'll ask you. Then they'll ask you what the actual risk of harm is. This is the form that you complete online, so it's basically the same. Have you completed the MRG? So in most cases, if you're making this this report for risk of significant harm, then yes, you have done the MRG. You have gone through the steps to ensure that you have made the right decision. Have you consulted with the Child Protection Helpline via your Child Wellbeing Unit? This all depends on your service and where you are. Okay, so it says, please do not complete the facts form if the outcome of the MRG is immediate report to community services. In this case, you must make your report by telephone. So there you're completely correct. Phone straight away. As you can see, the report's it's pretty straightforward. It asks about your details, so being a mandatory reporter, you aren't anonymous. Asks about the details of the young child or young person, and then it asks about the family details and their relationship to the child. What safety concerns you already have about the child? Are there AVOs? Are there family law court orders? Have there been issues of domestic violence before? And then we're going to, we'll sign that off and send it off. Obviously, this is one that's not going to be an immediate risk of harm. So they're all pretty straightforward. It's just really important to make sure that if you're the trainee, then you and you are the one that's been told about the risk of significant harm. you talk to your director about it and you will probably fill them out together. Otherwise, if you are the nominated supervisor, it can be quite daunting, especially depending on the size of your service. You can be doing these all the time, and it's not really a fun job. So we've looked at accurately recording relevant, specific and general circumstances. So we've looked at the policies and procedures. We've looked at being a mandatory reporter and the mandatory reporting trees. So how we get to that decision of making the final outcome. We've looked at the examples of indicators of child at risk. So looked at different scenarios and what you might be seeing or what you might be looking at. We've gone through making a phone call or gone through doing the facts report, and also had a look at the online report. And also you can go onto the community service website if you have any questions, and it has a full mandatory reporter guide and all the forms that you might need to use for that. Also has indicators which are really handy. So now you'll be confident enough, before you finish that identify and respond to children and young people at risk, at least you have the confidence to go back into the workplace and make your final report. Okay, today we're just going to do this one-on-one training session. Your employer has identified that in the workplace you've had some issues regarding child protection, and so we're just going to do a quick little 20-minute delivery, so we can sort of get you up